A mayoral candidate being challenged. The saga surrounding embattled South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard continues.
Mayoral candidate will be on the general election ballot despite an attempt to block her candidacy by an ally of current Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Tiffany Henyard, the youngest and first female mayor of Dolton, Henyard, has been hailed as a trailblazer. But in a shocking turn of events that has the South suburbs buzzing, she is at the center of chaos, controversy, and what some are calling the last chapter of her political career. She now appears to be fading into the background as the walls close in on her due to pending federal investigations and lawsuits. Henyard's reign is coming to an end more quickly than anyone could have imagined, and the drama is just getting started. Let's go into the disaster that has been in the news for weeks. Up in a community tired of her leadership. Once regarded as a rising star and a beacon of hope for the downtrodden community of Dolton, Tiffany Henyard chose not to use her position to improve Thornton Township, where she also serves. Residents are furious about Supervisor Henyard's actions, or lack thereof, because her tenure has been tainted by accusations of financial mismanagement, corruption, and outright neglect, ranging from taxpayer-funded luxury trips to missing meetings during a government shutdown. The worst part is that Henyard doesn't seem to care.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard was not at the hearing here today. Neither was her attorney, and she was not made available for.
Residents are incensed that Henyard skipped 2 important meetings in one day this week, including an emergency session in Thornton Township, intended to address the township's ongoing insurance crisis. Without insurance, vital services like senior transportation, food assistance, and even government building operations have come to a complete standstill, and one local has called her absence a slap in the face to everyone who depends on these services and trustees. According to Chris Gonzalez, who aptly put it, "We're on a toll road of chaos right now, and unfortunately the residents are the ones paying the toll." However, this is where the narrative takes an odd turn. Henyard claimed she was worried about her safety and gave serious threats as an excuse for missing the meetings, but no proof of these alleged threats has been provided. Senior trustee Jason House, who has become one of Henyard's most ruthless. Critics didn't believe it. The meeting continued without her because the village's operations could not be postponed any longer, he adding that the Board of Trustees had not received any information regarding any credible threats. The residents in attendance were equally dubious, with one person questioning whether she was so afraid that she hadn't resigned because she was obviously failing to fulfill her elected duties.
The right way. Illegal.
Residents in Dolton saw accountability when public outrage over Henyard reached a breaking point and protests broke out outside a village board meeting she skipped. Demonstrators showed dissatisfaction. The discontent is widespread, with some comparing her administration to a chaotic reality show and saying it's more like a circus than a government. Others accused her of embarrassing the community and demanded her resignation. Beyond Dolton, people in Thornton Township are also upset as Henyard tries to get back on the ballot for the supervisor post after losing in a contentious Democratic caucus vote last month.
Jordan.
It's about democracy and it's about hypocrisy.
I really think it's very hypocritical.
Residents have become more critical as they point out that Henyard's absences from meetings are not only a political issue, but also a legal one. As the mayor of Dolton and the supervisor of Thornton Township, she is legally required to carry out her public duties. Protesters accused her of ignoring her duties, and some even called for her removal from office because of her repeated absences, which they see as the frustration grows, calls for accountability are becoming louder, and Henyard's detractors have accused her of purposefully skipping these meetings to avoid tough questions from the public and trustees. For instance, her absence during the Thornton Township emergency session prevented the board from resolving the insurance crisis, which has still influenced hundreds of residents. Trustee Chris Gonzalez didn't hold back when he said, "This isn't just politics anymore. This is about people's lives. We can't keep stalling while our seniors and families suffer." The displeasure is evident, and many people think that Henyard's avoidance strategy is an indication that she realizes her time in office is running out.
Again, no comment from Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Voters here will first head to the polls in February for the primary election, then the general mayoral election.
However, supporters of Henyard contend that the blame is not entirely on her. They assert that the dysfunction in Dolton and Thornton Township is the consequence of long-standing political rivalries and systemic problems that predate Henyard's ascent to power. This isn't just about Tiffany, one supporter said outside a recent township meeting. It's about a broken system. It requires repair. Although she's not flawless, at least she's making an effort. Nevertheless, some of her previous supporters are starting to turn away, claiming that her growing scandals and legal issues are too significant, a distraction for the community to ignore. The bear of the contentious caucus is becoming the main focus of political theater. Friends of the Henyard said they were barred from the event while State Senator Napoleon Harris and his friends obtained a group of applicants, including Harris, to take her place as Supervisor. Henyard has characterized the procedure as unlawful and manipulative, bringing numerous lawsuits to challenge the outcomes. However, detractors accuse her of hypocrisy, pointing to her own purported strategies of voter suppression and power grabs in Dolton, and they cast doubt on her outrage, pointing out the contradictions in her behavior.
Fights in Thornton Township and in Dolton, except in one case, Tiffany Henyard wants on a ballot, while in another, a Henyard ally was looking to keep her opponent off.
In addition, Henyard has been active in the legal arena, bringing lawsuits against the Thornton Township Democratic Party, the caucus organizers, and even her own trustees in Dolton, alleging that they plotted to undermine her authority. These legal disputes, however, have raised questions regarding their monetary burden. Residents are calling for accountability and transparency on whether public funds are being used to pay for legal fees, because many believe taxpayer money is subsidizing these initiatives. Growing dissatisfaction about the possible abuse of public resources.
Vote is unanimous. The objector's petition has been withdrawn.
Can't do that. Can't contest everyone that come.
The accusations of financial malpractice are not limited to that. For months, Henyard has been the subject of federal scrutiny, with investigators allegedly investigating everything from missing money to extravagant travel and event expenditures. One particularly egregious example is an $85,000. Lori Lightfoot, the former mayor of Chicago, conducted a restricted audit of Dolton's finances and found a startling £365 million deficit in the village's general fund. This is in addition to the £40,000 spent on Amazon orders in a single day, which has not been covered.
Manipulation. Nobody likes being manipulated, and when you get here, you know that's exactly what's happening.
Given all of this drama, it's no surprise that Henyard's political allies are fleeing like flies. As an example, her lawyer, Max Stallman, recently attempted to back out of representing her in an eviction case involving back rent on a property that she allegedly abandoned. The case has been pending since September. Of the mayhem in the Henyard, and a CO owed more than $13,000 in rent and damages, according to court filings. Solomon didn't say why he wanted to leave in his request to withdraw, but let's face it, representing Henyard at this stage is like attempting to keep a sinking ship afloat.
We need some action, somebody that's actually going to do their job. How about that? Somebody that's come in, work for the people, not themselves, and have pictures all over the place.
Henyard's options and allies are running thin as the primary election draws near, and her major rival, Jason House, has been gaining ground and establishing himself as the village's leader. Tom must restore order and trust in House, a longtime resident, has established financial transparency and ethical reform as the pillars of his campaign. He recently stated, "We need someone who's going to put the people first, not their own interests." And based on the attendance at the most recent board meeting, many locals seem to agree.
Well, she's one of the most recognizable faces that's been on the news lately. Talking about the mayor of Dolton, Tiffany Henyard.
And all of social media.
However, whereas House is committed to moving forward, Henyard appears to be trapped in the past, holding on to power despite her declining support. Her regular absences from meetings, failure to address the insurance situation, and continuous court challenges have resulted. Many are curious about her ultimate goal. Is she merely buying time before the inevitable? Or is she expecting to weather the storm and save her career in some way? Henyard's days in office seem to be coming to an end, and it's obvious that time is running out.
It's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Wow.
Let's talk about the title of this, because it's called Super Mayor, and that is what Tiffany Henyard calls herself.
The fan responses to Henyard's demise have been harsh. One commenter aptly captured the whole sentiment. As a young black woman, she had the chance to do something incredible in Dolton, but she decided to discard it all because her ego got in the way. Another cited a recent scandal over a trustee's alleged misbehavior while on vacation in Vegas, stating, "I think she missed those meetings since the night before the audio and FaceTime from the phone conversation of trustworthy Holmes talking about his filthy deeds surfaced that she's dodging." Residents of the fallout must pick up the pieces of a government in ruins as the drama plays out. The insurance situation in Dolton Township has not been resolved, depriving vulnerable populations of necessary services. With Dolton's finances in ruins and no clear plan to close the deficit and Henyard refusing to move forward, the road to recovery appears long and uncertain. But there is hope. As one resident stated during the protest, "We've been through tough times before, and we'll get through this too, but first we need to clean house." What do you think? With the primary election in a few weeks, who do you believe has what it takes to guide Dolton and Thornton Township into a better future? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like. Will Tiffany Henyard ultimately be held accountable for her actions, or will she find a way to hold on to power? Additionally, subscribe to receive more updates on this developing story. If there's one thing we know about Tiffany Henyard, it's that the drama is far from over, so keep an eye out.